What's up, kids? Welcome back to the X Space.
We're back once again to teach you how to be a good person.
I want you to imagine that it's your first day at a new school and everything is scary to you.
You have to make friends, find your class, settle into your desk, all of it.
And you are super scared.
And as you walk into the school, you get a weird feeling in your stomach.
You know, where you're so nervous that it feels like a bunch of little butterflies are flapping their wings inside of you.
That is a scary feeling, right?
Well, kids, do you know what that's called? It's anxiety.
And anxiety is something everyone deals with.
Whether it's walking into a new school, meeting new people, shooting a shot at the end of a basketball game, or getting ready to perform at the school play.
Those are all times when you might feel anxious.
And in those moments, it can feel like the whole world is crashing down on you.
You know, like you're so scared you're gonna do something or say something wrong.
And your mind is running at 1,000,000 miles per hour.
When that happens, it can be really hard to handle. So today, we're gonna give you 3 tips on how to deal with anxiety.
Tip number 1, face your fears.
I bet you didn't see that one coming.
See, when you feel anxiety, your body is telling you to run away.
The last thing you want to do is face your fears, right?
But that is exactly what you should do.
Because when you step into your fears, you will realize that they're not that scary after all.
Now I get it. Things like speaking in front of the class or talking to someone you've never met before can be really scary, but you can do it.
If you just take a deep breath and tell yourself, I can do this, then you'll be able to attack it.
And trust me, it will be a much better outcome if you attack it than it will be if you're scared the whole time.
And when you start thinking about all the ways things could go wrong, stop yourself.
And instead, think only about the ways things could go great.
Because if you're thinking about how things might go wrong, then they're probably gonna go wrong.
But if you're thinking about how things can go great, then they will go great.
So face your fears by taking a deep breath, reminding yourself that you're ready for it, and attacking anything that makes you feel anxious.
Tip number 2, talk about it.
Another way to deal with anxiety is to talk about it.
And this is by far the most important.
See, because anxiety grows and builds up the longer you hold it in.
And it's easy to hold it in because you might be scared to tell someone.
For a lot of people, it's embarrassing to have feelings of anxiety.
It makes you feel weak or small. But remember, everybody deals with anxiety, so there's nothing to be ashamed of.
So go up to a teacher, parent, counselor, or anyone you trust and talk with them about your anxiety.
Tell them what's bothering you or what you're afraid of.
I promise that it will make you feel much better.
And whoever you talk to might be able to relieve some of that anxiety too.
So go up to them and say, I've been feeling really anxious lately. Can you help me?
That way they will know what you're going through and will be able to help.
So go up to anyone you trust and tell them what you're anxious about.
Because if you keep it to yourself, it will only get worse and worse.
Tip number 3, get an expert's help.
Now, we feel like it's really important to say this. There are 2 types of anxiety. The first is the little anxiety you feel right before doing something scary, like talking in front of the class.
This type of anxiety goes away after the situation is over.
But there is another kind of anxiety. We'll call it the big anxiety. And this kind doesn't just go away.
Now, not everyone struggles with big anxiety, but some people do. And that type of anxiety needs some special attention.
Because this type of anxiety can't be overcome by simply facing your fears.
Big anxiety is with you all the time, no matter what you're doing.
And it might make it hard to sleep at night or eat or just live life.
For this type of anxiety, you definitely need to talk about it. But it might need to be taken to an expert too.
Like your school counselor or even a doctor.
Now, if you're anxious all the time, then you need to talk to your teacher or parent and let them help you find an expert.
But no matter what, don't pretend like your anxiety is nothing. It's a real problem.
But it can be overcome. It doesn't matter how big it is, with the right help, you can be free from anxiety.
Well, kids, now you know how to deal with anxiety by facing your fears, talking about it, and maybe even involving an expert.
And remember this, no matter what, you don't have to let your anxiety control you.
Because anxiety only has the power that you give it.
And there are a ton of people out there who can help you overcome it.
So don't be afraid to get their help.
And do everything you can to overcome anxiety.
Because when you have victory over anxiety, you can be a good person.